Hey everybody, I'm going to talk about the 5 things that the Kavanaugh hearings brought up for me. So, I just watched them. This is not one of my typical polished videos. I'm literally sitting up in bed and I just really feel the need to share my thoughts. So, I'm going to do that. This is a great time also to remind you to subscribe to my channel and click the little bell icon so that you get notifications. Let's get down to business. What are the 5 things that came up for me most prominently while watching the Kavanaugh hearings? Number 1, I never miss an opportunity to warn my children about the dangers of binge drinking. I also never lose an opportunity to warn my boys about the danger of, quotation marks, frat culture. This is not to say that the entire Greek system should be outlawed. However, social structures, particularly in college, that encourage copious amounts of alcohol, really any institution that has drinking games as part of what you do in them, should probably be approached with caution. Any party where there are people who are extremely intoxicated, whether they be male, female, is not some place that, generally speaking, positive, healthy things happen. Yeah, I'm going to tell my sons, I'm going to use this as an opportunity. Whether Kavanaugh did it, didn't do it, whatever you believe, this is bringing up a lot of issues about drinking culture and the way we treat drinking in our culture that I really think should be discussed with children, and I intend to do that. That came up for me. Point 1. Okay, point number 2. Point number 3, the prosecutor. Say what you will about Rachel Mitchell and whether or not you like her, whether or not you think she's on the right side or the wrong side. I will say that what struck me was that she used sensitive language when approaching Ford. She expressed sensitivity that, yes, some men may also have expressed. But when I think of what it must be like to recount an assault, as Ford experienced, to be able to do that to a woman prosecutor, I think, may have been a more sensitive way for this to go. Again, that's not to say that every woman is sensitive and every man is not sensitive, but Rachel Mitchell said some very generous, sensitive things during the course of her interrogation, which made me have respect for the way that she was conducting herself. And I think of all the stories of women who are afraid to report assault or rape, and one of the reasons is that there are very few women often in the offices and often the police departments where these things are being reported. It does make a difference. And while not every woman will be sensitive, that's totally true, statistically speaking, women might feel more comfortable talking to other women in prosecution cases like this in particular. And so I just thought that was interesting to note. Point number 4, echoes of Anita. I remember very distinctly being a fiery, empowered, frustrated teenage feminist. And when Anita Hill brought accusations against Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, I was outraged at the way people spoke about her. I was disgusted that many people very close to me said, big deal, get over it. She needs to toughen up. That's just how guys talk. It wasn't true then and it's not true now. And seeing this woman today with such composure, a woman with a psychology degree who is speaking with authority about memory, about trauma, about the impact that has on your life, it was a lesson yet again that the voice of a woman is very powerful. Again, whether or not you believe her voice is important. And sadly, we've come so far, but I don't know if we've come far enough. Oh, made me really emotional. Point 4. Point number 5, I bonded with random strangers throughout the hearings. I had a bunch of appointments. I was in like doctor's offices and whatever. I was in lobbies that were broadcasting the hearings, and everywhere I went, I would stop. And it's hard to tell from looking at people who's gonna, want to roll their eyes when you do. But it was really amazing to just bond with random people today. There was a very nice African-American lady in the elevator, and we really bonded. We talked about how our country perhaps wasn't ready for a black president based on a lot of people's behavior. We clearly weren't ready for a woman president. And we said goodbye, and I was like, God help us. And she's like, God help us all. And by the way, I love you. So nice lady. If you're watching this video, thank you for giving me a moment of not just sisterhood, but camaraderie. I bonded with a lot of guys today too in lobbies of buildings. There are things that can still unite us, and that the voices of women still need to be heard is something that many of us can agree on, and that gives me hope. On a day when sometimes I felt kind of hopeless. Again, not about Kavanaugh, not about Ford, not just about this situation, but about the way we talk about women in general, about the lack of expectations we have for men in general. I expect more, and I think you do too, of all of us. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Thanks for watching.